What's up, good people? We are back. I know. Y'all told us in the comments, y'all missed us. It's been a lot going on. Pray's been traveling, I've been traveling, but here we are back. We hope that y'all are ready with your questions. And today, Praise let me know behind the scenes that he want to talk about some $1 million marketing, right? Fundamentally, the most important aspect to your business, because without it, you have none. If you have no leads, you have nobody to sell to. You got nobody to sell to. You got no way of making money. Can we all agree to that? Okay, cool. So that being said, we're gonna hop in and get to it and show you guys some $1 million marketing strategies. I mean, if you want to get to that point in your life. If not, send this to somebody else that does. And for those of y'all that's here, man, it's time to lock in. Don't be shy. Put your comments in the comments section. As you know, we will get to them and answer them as they come up. Praise. Welcome back, bro.
Man, thanks for having me, man. And I got to start out with this. How have you been, man? I seen a trip. I seen a cruise, How have you been? How's the rest been?
Bro, so this is what's crazy. So I went on a cruise. My wife and I, we went on a Norwegian cruise, which was amazing. They had a cigar lounge on there. It was just a thing, right? And then we got back. And then the next day after we got back, we had a 5-day challenge, which shout out to everybody that came to the Purpose to Profits challenge last week. It was phenomenal. And so, bro, it was like that transition was wicked from going from floating around the world and then getting back, having a day to kind of gather myself, get my sea legs back under me, and then immediately got into, 5-day challenge mode. So it's been a blur for real. Yeah, it's been a blur. It's no in between. Like there was no smooth transition to it, and I kind of need a vacation. Like like Sunday, I was so out of it. I got up. We watched church online. I went to the gym to get into the steam room. And then after that, I got home and just told my wife, like, I'm about to go to the resort. I went and checked into the resort in Orlando, and I texted her the room number and was like, when you get done, you just come on over here and join me. So I just had to go decompress for a minute, man, because it was a lot.
And can you just talk about the importance of that rest for you? Like how did it hit in the moment, like as soon as you got on the cruise? Like, because I know how important rest is, especially for someone who has a busy schedule. Because my mom was telling me last night that the season that I'm in, I'm gonna wish that I had it back once my life starts getting busy and my business starts growing to a different magnitude. So could you just talk about the importance of that and what that meant to you to just rest?
Yeah, so this is what's interesting. It's funny that you asked that. So I didn't notice it at the beginning of the trip. Okay. But literally our last day, well, the day before the morning we got off the ship, we were at lunch and I was like, as much as I want to say I needed this trip, I'd be lying. What I realized after being on vacation was that I've created such a life with margin that I don't need a vacation. Now it was phenomenal. Instead of having date night once a week or whatever, like to date my wife every single day, changing multiple outfits and doing the thing, like all that was amazing, right? I'm grateful for the trip, but I didn't need the trip. And it's because I attribute it to one, just creating a lifestyle business that really does
Yeah.
have margin all throughout the week. And secondly, keeping my Sabbath every week, bro. Like I think we take for granted what can happen by just disconnecting for 24 hours every week.
That's good.
Right. Like we really take that for granted. And clearly, like I see the fruit of it that, and I didn't realize we hadn't been on vacation since last July when we went to the DR. And so it was literally a year, not mind you, right? Like my work requires travel and we go to cool places and we hang out, but there's still some work involved. We hadn't
Yeah.
been on vacation in a year. And even with that being said, I could have kept going. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't need it, but I was grateful for it. And so that's what I learned. Now to answer I think the bigger question at hand, there were seasons not long ago where I needed a vacation like every quarter because it was just that the business, the lifestyle, all of that was so arduous and demanding that I constantly needed to unplug. So I think now, by God's grace, I'm in the sweet spot to where my business really it's not taxing. There's
Mm.
moments like a challenge or what have you, or sometimes when my travel schedule but for the most part, I mean, we get it done. We feel really good about doing it the way we do it.
No, that's beautiful, man. I remember you made a post, and two posts actually. You were like, the first post you were talking about how build a life that you don't need to take a break from.
Hmm.
And then you made another video where you were like, live a lifestyle you don't need to lie about, like that you're actually living,
Facts.
So you be
Facts.
great about talking about that. So it's just funny because you are what you preach.
Hmm.
And I see a lot of content creators that aren't, or people that want to get into that aren't, right? And to even speak about just my sabbatical, right? And a little side note is that, yo, when I tell you that you don't realize what you miss until it's gone, B, I wasn't talking to you. I was like, man, it's like I want to talk to B. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it was when I wasn't talking to you that I'm like, it's so funny how fast like it could really come and go. Because even in that span of that I was taking a sabbatical, I was like, nah, I can't wait to talk to B. Like, be the only person that make me feel like I'm not crazy trying to lock in and be great, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, even taking my rest of my sabbatical,
By the way, I just want to let you know I can't see the chat. The glitch is in again today. So just in case people are saying stuff, I just want you to know
okay.
I can't my end.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, I got you. Um, but yeah, even just the sabbatical I was taking, man, when I tell you I ain't never hear God talk clearer than ever, I'm talking about clearer than ever, direction clearer than ever, right? And I didn't realize how much noise was in my life. I didn't. Until I canceled out all the noise, I realized how much noise was in my life. And there was one thing that he really made me hone on, and that was the area of expertise that I called myself, which is I say I'm an emotional intelligence coach. And what I was getting one of the downloads that he gave me was that the reason you don't know what I want you to do is because you don't even know what you want to do. You don't even know how you really feel about your own life. And you asking me questions about your life. How about you figure out how you feel? And then I'll tell you how I'm feeling about how you feel, right? So it was just crazy to hear that because I'm asking him, where do you want me to go? What move do you want me to make? How do you want me to do this? And then I get out of my prayer closet and go about my life. But when I tell you, when I had to just sit there with him, just waiting, it was probably the best prayer time I've ever had. And now just more clarity, more driven, more fire, more passion to be great. But I didn't know how much I needed to just quiet all the noise down. You know, it was just so, I felt like I was slowing down, but internally I didn't slow down. Right, my external slowed down, but internally I was still like, "What's the next move? What do I got to do?" Da, 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 da. And he was like, "Bro, you just need to relax. Like, you need to slow down. Like, you got a mentor, yes, but these things don't happen overnight. Like, you not just gonna get to where he is in a week's time. So you expecting that is not ideal." So he really just brought me back to being present and to study. Like he has me really just studying my area, my lane. He was like, you need to study emotions to be an emotional intelligence coach. He was like, it's good that you have some experience and you know a thing or two here. But he was like, now I need you to get deeper. You need to be a better student in this season. And that's really what he was honing in on. So it was just cool to just have that time to rest. So when you went on your break and I was going on mine, I'm like, why are we both taking a break at the same time? Like, what's going on? Like, but not knowing that I needed it because now I feel better than ever, rejuvenated. And I didn't know I was moving with an empty cup. When I tell you I was moving with the empty cup, B, I was just on autopilot, like autopilot, just going and going and going. Like there was no, like I knew I needed a Sabbath, but like you said, like I wasn't prioritizing my Sabbath. I wasn't prioritizing the rest because I'm like, I need to make sure this business is successful. And it's like the business ain't gonna be successful if you burnt out. Like the business ain't gonna be successful if the person running the business ain't there, right? So I just wanted to, piggyback off of that because, yeah, man, this was probably the best break I've ever had. Sleeping different, thinking different, making moves differently, and yeah, man, it's been great. It's been great. So I just wanted to just say thank you, right, just for your leadership because you lead without telling me. Like you don't have to say something to me in order for me to see your leadership. So when you was taking a break, I'm like, listen, if B taking a break, I'm taking a break too, right? And that's exactly what I needed. So yeah, man, I'm happy about that. So
That's good. I always say that some things are taught, other things are caught, right? So to your point, you caught that just from being locked in and making observation and being intentional with your observations. That's good, bro. And I've been doing sabbaticals now for the last 4 years. Nothing has blessed my life more in terms of vision than a sabbatical. In terms of clarity than a sabbatical. And I'm talking about fasting, all of it. The sabbatical alone has fundamentally changed my life. And I mean, that's why I wrote a framework for it. I've sent colleague clients on these same sabbaticals and I gave them a framework, right? And I have them all do a spiritual temperament assessment, which is very important before you go because everybody hears from God differently, right? We all know that it should tie back to the word of God, right? We know that.
yeah,
But I mean, in terms of like, some people are naturists, some people are contemplators, some people they hear God through music. So, as an example of that, somebody may see someone else's orientation towards God, like lifting their hands, right? Or sitting in a prayer closet. And then they like, man, I be lifting my hands. I be sitting in the closet. I don't get it. It's like, because you experience God most when you out walking in nature, right? 2020, that's what I would do. I would go out and walk for hours and just be on prayer walks during 2020. That's how God was most communicating with me. So but you got to spend time with him to start to learn that. Like, where do you feel like you get the most downloads? And so I have everybody, before they go on these sabbaticals, do the spiritual temperament framework, because it tells you what your natural temperament is as it pertains to God. Because if you don't, and you just go there and you lock yourself in a hotel room, quiet, and turn off everything, and you know what I'm saying? Like, that may not work for you. You know what I mean? Like, so I just want everybody to be as keenly aware of what their natural orientation is when they sense that they feel most connected to God, and lean into that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you should take your sabbatical in the rainforest. I don't know. Like me, I do mine near the beach more often than not, because I know that near the water, things special happen typically with me and him. I hear from him. So, yeah, I just think that's important, that everybody, especially if you high capacity, you got a lot of vision, you're on mission, you need to take a sabbatical. And
Yeah.
by the way, that in layman's terms, what that means for me is it's a vacation with God. I take a vacation with God. Kiss my wife, I leave, I'm gone 72 hours or so, and I'm just out doing my thing. I'm checking into the hotel. I'm just responding and reacting to whatever I feel like I need. If I'm ready to eat, I go eat. I ain't got to talk to nobody about I'm about to go eat. I ain't got to ask my wife what she want to eat. I go eat. If I want to go get a cigar, I go down and I get a cigar. And then I do have very intentional time where I get back to the hotel room and I lock in, and I'm in the book, and I'm reading, and I'm asking, and I'm listening, and I'm hearing, and then I go back out and go hang some more. And as I'm experiencing people may say something that confirm things that I was already talking to God about. Like, I'm very intentional with how I'm spending my time, but
Yeah.
it really is just taking a vacation with God and carving out intentional space throughout the course of them. Sometimes I do them for 3 nights, 4 days, 2 nights, 3 days, and I'm just getting it in with them, man. And I'm journaling, and I'm writing the things that I think that I'm hearing them about, and all the things. And I come back with all kind of revelation every single time that I do one, which is, I normally do it annually at the end of December before the new year start, just to confirm the things that I've been thinking about doing for the upcoming year. Sometimes they change, and sometimes he just add more to it, you know? So
Yeah.
it's a beautiful thing, and it's necessary, I believe. It's all in scripture, right? People will
Yeah.
leave and disconnect and go get a word from God, right? I mean, just that's a hack. It's, you know what I'm saying? It's a clue.
Yeah. 100%, man. And just to piggyback off that, before I pivot into some of these questions, when I tell you I was on that sabbatical, man, I'm hearing frameworks from he's giving me frameworks from the scripture about business. I ain't never heard them before. Like, when I'm telling you, I'm asking, I'm like, Lord, how do these people get these frameworks on the Bible? How is that? When I tell you, he was giving me frameworks. And I'm like, what? I'm like, so this is what I was missing out on, because I didn't want to be still. And I'm really in that Psalm 46:10 season. Like, be still and know that I am God. That's where he has me at. Like, be still, just learn from me. Let me train you. Let me bring you up in the way. Like, literally how David was like, teach me your ways. Like, that's where I'm at. But yeah, man, I was getting business frameworks. I'm getting new revelations, because I'm in the book of Jeremiah. And this is when the Lord was really like, you gonna eat your sermons, Mr. I think I know it all, right? So I'm in the book of Jeremiah, and one of the verses was just talking about God was like, I examine the deepest thoughts and secrets. And he was like, there's something you're not telling me. And I'm like, what am I not telling you? He's like, I examined a part of you that you haven't put on the altar yet. That's what I'm trying to tell you, right? And it was just such a big revelation, because with me being an emotional intelligence coach, he was like, I need you to be so in tune, and you need to be so up to par with your emotions. So when you coach other people, you're not being a Pharisee. Like, you can't tell people to go do this and you're not doing what you're telling them to do to manage their emotions. So he was getting on me about it, but it was beautiful though. Like, I knew there was more. I knew there was a next level. And when I tell you, he was helping me dial in on what I need to learn. He was like, go get this list, go type this up, go learn these, like, all these new things about emotions. Like, one of the videos today I'm going to make, like, it's just, now my content isn't going to be as erratic anymore, right? Because it's easy to be like, one day's about peace, one day's about consistency, one day's about this. Right now it's going to actually be about emotional intelligence, but all just the different subcategories under emotional intelligence. So man, when I tell you, like, that sabbatical was so well
So
needed.
so so give me, by the way, right? Because I know
Yeah.
some people watching this, okay, they
Yeah.
like, wait a minute. Praise was doing music before we left. Right, praise been uh contemplating life coaching, right?
Yeah.
You were also headed to get your youth pastor certification in Texas before we left, right?
Yeah.
But here's why I'm actually not poking at you. This is
Yeah.
why I'm
Yeah.
bringing it up because I want people to see one what it looks like in real time to be 23 with the passion and the conviction to have a great life. Like this is what it looked like. You could be just working some dead end job right now and partying
Yeah.
on the weekends. That's what you could be doing. But in real time, you're bold enough to keep putting yourself out there even when you don't got it all figured out. But then have enough humility in real time to take pivots unapologetically as well, right? But again, back to communication, right? It is the post that came out today. We can't act as though, for those that's been following along, as if we haven't been talking about what we've been talking about.
For sure.
Communication, right? So I have to acknowledge what they're thinking because they're thinking it anyway. Where people go wrong is trying to talk about things as if people not already thinking them. So you better off addressing them. So then that way they could close that tab in the back of their mind, and now we can all be on the same screen together. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So,
100%.
so I wanted to bring it up, but it was a lesson. It was a couple lessons in it. One was
Yeah.
that about communication. The other was this is what it looks like to try things. This is what it looks like to hear. This is what it looked like to pivot. This is what it looked like to discern. This is what it looked like to be convicted. And some people, because they're afraid of this happening publicly, then they suffer privately by being stuck to an idea because that's what everybody else think that they're supposed to be doing because that's what they told everybody else they were doing. So they put themselves in bondage because they're unwilling to take public pivots. So I commend you.
Man, that's good. I appreciate that. I really do, man, because there was a fear of trying, like growing up, there was a big fear of that, like making a mistake, not having it all figured out. Like, I'm like, Lord, I don't got it all figured out in this business. He's like, exactly. Keep going. He'll create it. But I realize now, and one thing you do, I think you commend the humanity aspect of it because that was something that the Lord was even revealing to me. Like, bro, humanity in my culture is non-existent. Like, you need to have it all figured out. You need to know what you're doing immediately when you step into the real world, right? So I just appreciate you for even commending that because it's something that gets overlooked a lot. Like, I believe this generation is so worried about having it all figured out that they don't do anything to figure it out, right?
It's
So,
not even just this generation, bro. It's everybody.
yeah,
There's people watching this right now in their 40s, 50s, and 60s that's still married to an inferior decision because they're unwilling to start over and be the freshman again. They're
yeah,
unwilling to go against what everybody has started to know them from, right? Think about it. Since I
yeah,
came on the internet for 7 years, people only knew me as the real estate guy, the remote real estate investor. After November, I never talked about real estate ever again. And the new people don't know me from anything that got to do with real estate, right? But even for those that did, I took a pivot unapologetically. Why? Because I felt like that's what God was calling me to do. And based on the fruit that is produced in a very short period of time, I'm clear on the fact that that's what he called me to do.
100%.
But I could have got married to the idea that all these tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people know me from real estate. I can't shed that identity. I
Yeah,
can't denounce that other thing that I was doing. And there's people on here right now watching this that's been married and stuck and in bondage to an inferior decision because they're just unwilling to put themselves out there and be quote unquote wrong. No, I would venture to say putting an idea out there and having a pivot is far less being wrong than staying stuck to one you shouldn't be doing.
that's good. That's real good. B. Yeah. And just to piggyback one last time, but before we pivot into these marketing questions, with where God wanted me just focusing on to be a better speaker, because the thing was like I was praying to the Lord. I'm like, Lord, I want to be a better speaker. I want to be a better communicator. I want to talk about my coaching business better. And when you learn how to articulate your emotions better to me, you'll be able to articulate better to people. So he was like, start there because you're so worried about performing when you really just need to do it privately. Because I remember you would always say like, practice more than you perform, prepare more than you perform. I mean, right? So he was just getting me in this, like really honing in on this preparation mode so that when I go up there, I'm not focusing on a performance. It's just what I've been preparing to do. And he has me reading this one book where it's like, you can't be spiritually mature and emotionally immature, right? So he has me reading that book and it's really just been helping me ground myself emotionally. So now when I make my content, I already know what I want to say. Like today for my video, I know what I want to say because I'm studying emotions. I'm learning about my own self, right? Because it was just more personal work that I had to focus on. Because I was more focused on, not that it was a bad thing, but a lot of external things. Like, if it's doing my outreach and doing all these things. But it's like when the people come to me, I need to make sure I'm prepared, right? So that's where he has me at. And yeah, man, it's been great. So yeah, now I want to pivot into these marketing questions. You ready?
Do it.
Yes, sir.
By the
So
way, anything in the chat? Anybody say anything?
so far, Shahid said, "Slow and steady wins the race. It's the tortoise moving at a steady pace that reaches the finish line first, not the hare who sprints and burns out."
Right.
And then yeah, that's really much it. All Night Hider was basically talking about how it ain't about you, bro. Your wife needed a trip and stuff like that, just messing around. So
Yeah,
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 but
yeah, yeah,
besides
yeah.
that
Oh
was
no, and that's fact. She did. Yeah, that's
yeah.
that's why I went. That's 1000% accurate.
Yeah, but besides that, nah, chat's been chilling right now. So through God's grace, I ended up getting a small marketing team. Right, God blessed me with a
Yeah.
small marketing team over this sabbatical. It was crazy how it happened. He gave me the framework that Jesus used, where he was like, go up to the disciples and say, "Come follow me." Right, so I literally did that, and through God's grace, they were like, "Yeah, let's do it. I would love to serve." And they have the content creation skills and all the things that I need. So I wanted to ask you, what would be the best way moving forward to utilize and optimize them in the best way to market my business, because right now, things have been slowly but steady, right? But now it's time, like I want to really get my name out there. I want to do way more marketing things. So what would you say is the best thing to market right now with the team? Now I have people to help me do that, so I don't want to lead them astray. I wanted to bring it to you because we have team meetings now every Monday to get the week started out. So I wanted to come to ask you, what would be the best way to go about marketing right now, especially having a team to help me do that?
Yeah. So here's the first thing to understand about marketing. Marketing is messaging. Marketing is messaging. Before we even start talking about the message to market with respects to like getting clients, getting leads, all the rest of it, we have to have the message to market internally as well for our team members. So your messaging internally is casting vision. Before we start assigning tasks, we got to first cast vision to them as to where are we going in order to set expectations, because relationships don't fail because of poor communication. They fail because of unmet expectations. So you have to first be clear on the vision of where y'all going. Secondly, convey that to them. And then third, get a commitment from them on that. So we got to talk about the what before we start talking about the how. What are we doing? Right? And then this is how we're going to do it. Okay. So that's the first thing. The second thing then is getting really clear on who's your target audience, what's the message that you're trying to put out to them, and then how are you going to deliver it to them. So we identify the who, we cultivate the what, and then we put it in containers to distribute the how, right? Is this going to be on Instagram? Is this going to be on TikTok? Is this going to be on YouTube? Is this going to be long form, short form? With frequency? Are we doing steals? Are we doing reels? What's the cadence to how we going to convey these messages every week? Is there a different theme for different days? All of that has to be figured out. But what first got to be figured out is who am I talking to and what am I talking to them about? And what is it that I want to move them from point A to point C? Like, what is it that I'm trying to move them to from point A to point C? From finding me and experiencing me through my content, which is point B, the journey, and then ending them at some destination. Like, what is that? Because if I don't know that, then I could just find myself just aimlessly creating stuff, right?
Yeah.
Anybody with a platform can say a thing, but you need a process to sell a thing. People run around on platform doing nothing but entertaining themselves and others every single day. They're not selling anything though. If the goal is to do business with your content and your marketing, then there has to be a very succinct plan and strategy as to where am I starting them out at and what am I trying to get them, like where's the end result for them. So given all that, do you have answers to any of those fill in the blanks yet?
Man, you just it's a marketing masterclass. Yeah, so for the who is the next generation, right, of thinkers, leaders, builders, content creators.
What does that mean? What age group is next gen?
I'd say I was saying the same age range that we specified last time. So I'll say 18 to 30.
Okay.
That'll be the next generation. I was gonna make it smaller, but I was thinking more like 18 to like 25.
Okay.
But I would say 18 to 30. I'll stay with that. That's what I'm thinking for that age range of next gen.
Okay.
And then for what is that right now? It's really more engagement. Like right now, I really just want to bring in more engagement. Like I said, I'm not trying to jump too far ahead of the ball game and do try and get clients and all these leads and stuff. I just want to have a consistent message. Also, like you were talking about, I was just talking to one of my marketing team members about just themes. Right, I want to get consistent with having different themes because I was telling you I was having one day I'm talking about patience. Next day I'm talking about peace. Next day I'm talking about purpose. Next day I'm talking about power. Like, so I was like, let's go themes. If it's a weekly theme, if it's a monthly theme, but I want to make sure that it's a constant, it's consistent. So this month's theme that I'm about to do is emotional sabotaging behaviors. So self-sabotaging behaviors with your emotions. I was gonna make that my theme for this month and focus there because I didn't like how erratic my content was feeling. As I was going back and watching it, I just was like, this is a little too erratic for even me myself. Like if somebody was coming just on the first page and they're like, okay, like what he's talking about is good, but it's like, where are we going? You know what I'm saying? It was just a little bit everywhere. Even if I were to introduce myself, my page wasn't aligning with how I was introducing myself. And then how it was going to be making sure that we all agreed and came together on the consistent message, and then finding, like you said, a right system and process on how to do that. If we're doing themes by the day or themes by the week or themes by the month, just making sure that we have a consistent way of doing that and marketing that to my audience.
Yeah. So that's a good.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily agree that your content felt erratic.
Okay.
Okay. To me, it was consistently rooted in the word in some way,
Yeah.
shape, or form.
Yeah.
Every message was for personal development that I gathered from watching all the content. I haven't seen every post, but I've seen a lot. And it all was rooted in the guise of personal development. The thing that my observation from the previous content was less that it was erratic as it was not as inviting.
Mm.
Very staccato, right? Very staccato. Not conversational, very staccato.
Mm.
This is what we're doing today. This is how we're gonna do it today. See you later. You know what I'm saying? It was very staccato. It wasn't conversational. Does that make sense?
Yes. That's really good. That's really good. Can you?
So I sensed that you were talking at me. You were
Yeah.
always preaching at me, but I didn't feel that you was kicking it with me.
Mm. So let me ask, how do I do that? Like, because even with me, right, I feel like even the story that I made is like my energy, my enthusiasm is like at you, and I want it to be with you, right? So how do I like go about doing that better? Because I want to make sure that I'm talking with them, that I'm kicking it with them. But it's like, can you give me this advice on how to do that better to make sure that I do that in my content?
How do you normally talk to people?
That's a great question. Just be chilling. Yeah, be just chilling with them. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
know that by nature, I speak with a lot of conviction. I can even be coined aggressive compared to others, right?
Yeah.
But I'm that way behind. Like if we on the phone, like you already know, if we just talking, I talk like that.
Yeah.
I just
Uh-huh.
talk the same way in my content. You know, but it's still a conversation because that's how I have natural conversation with people.
Mm.
Now there may be times where I put on the teacher hat and you could feel that I'm being an instructor in this moment, right? And I could
Yeah.
put on the preacher hat and you feel that I'm preaching the word, right? But the general consensus of my content is having a conversation. Even if you see like some of my longer form content, especially when I'm teaching, like I've been doing these finance Fridays, so I'm at the whiteboard every Friday now to break up like just the talking head at the podcast table situation. You'll notice in my long form, even though there's nobody there, I'm talking to the camera as if they're talking back to me. I'll say something like, "Y'all get that, right?" I mean, nobody else is here. You know what I'm saying? But I'm talking
Yes.
to them as if we're having a conversation
That's good.
because the camera is a person.
That's really
So
good.
we ain't creating videos, we're having conversations.
That's really good. I could definitely do that. Yeah. Cause I agree. It was very staccato. It's like, listen, do this, do this. I'll see y'all in the next one. And yeah, I wanted to definitely change that because I see when, even if I leaned more into having more of a conversation, engagement was up, right? Views was up, all of that, because it was less of me telling you what's wrong with you and I'm walking you through how to get out of that. So I 100% agree. And I appreciate that you even pointing that out because I'll say that's the culture in me that I need to get out because I'm so used to being talked at and not
Yeah,
being talked with
yeah.
that when I'm talking to people, I'm so used to talking at them. And yeah, I could definitely pivot in that way. And I think that'll also just like you said, people it would invite more people because even when I was watching it, I was like I'm talking a little harsh to these people. They ain't even do nothing yet. So
Yeah,
I just want
yeah.
to make sure that I
And,
get
and,
better
and
at
that's the
that.
thing, bro. Telling ain't selling.
Yeah.
Telling ain't
Yeah.
selling. Like people may even agree with you, but it's because they feel bullied. You know what I'm saying? Telling ain't selling. Like they're not having like that internal conviction, right? People buy for one reason because they feel like it. So telling them ain't making them feel like it. Suggesting to them and letting them internalize it will make them feel like it.
Mm,
So you will see a lot of my content is convicting, but I'm not telling people it feel like it because my the conviction and the way in which I speak.
yeah.
But if you internalize my message, and I'm not telling you to do anything, but I'm pre-framing and I'm speaking and I'm storytelling about things in such a way to make you reconsider how you've been doing.
This is really good.
I mean, you look at my post from yesterday, right? The church been getting this wrong forever. Tithing don't teach you stewardship, it teach you ownership.
Yeah.
I'm not telling them what to do with they tithe, but I am telling them as a result of giving him 10 and blowing your 90, you'll end up a broke tither. Ask me how I know. It's a conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But it's making them reevaluate how they look at tithing. So they're having an internal response to that.
That's really good. This is, yeah. You just put like a master class in like 10 minutes, bro. I promise you. That was really good, bro. Cause like I was still talking at people and I'm like, what am I doing wrong? And you like, just have a conversation. But it's so, especially first coming into business, I'm like, let me give them a message, not thinking that I need to have a
Bro,
conversation.
you not alone. Just so
Yeah.
you know. Like
Yeah.
what happens is this. When we tell people in our content, we feel like we the authority and we're in control. This is internally. This is not like for external acceptance. That's our protection mechanism until we grow comfortable with being more vulnerable and putting ideas out there and letting them vote instead of telling them how to think. You listen to me. 80% of the content I look at is like that. And I cringe. Not I don't say it like that, okay? But I cringe because it feel attacked. And then you see the other content where people like use hyperbole to describe their thing as if that just made it more appetizing. You got to come to this powerful, impactful. It's gonna be phenomenal. It's like you using a bunch of adjectives, but you still ain't told me nothing though. You just trying to hype up your thing, and it's not connecting because you haven't caused a reason for me to want to invest my energy into that. It's like, and people think just because you do it in a soft or empathetic or sincere voice that you're not talking at. You're still talking at people, even if you do it from a caring tone, and you haven't said nothing to connect with them. You're still talking at them. So you ain't got to be barking at people to talk at them.
That's so good.
It's like being on the phone with somebody, never asking them how they doing or nothing, and you just leaning in, and then you come
Yeah.
up for air and be like, "You still there?" They be like, "Yeah." And then you just lean in some more. That's what it's the equivalent of that, and they wonder why their content don't convert. Like that's
Hey,
why.
hey, that's a crazy phone call.
Wild.
Wild. That's so crazy. Wow. Nah, that puts it into true perspective though. Like that's a
Or
great
then you
way.
get the other side of the spectrum where people just want to get on there and just bleed out on the post every day. Like cute, all this, they just I'm crying, so let me cut the camera on real quick, right? So then there's that side, and it's like, I don't know what I'm gonna do for my life. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Please pray for me. So then it's like, wow, okay. So now like you've arrested me.
Mm,
That I gotta be like you've arrested me with your content.
wow.
Better phrase, you've now held me hostage in your content. That I gotta come with you wherever that is. You dragging me to the funeral home, you dragging me to the hospital, or I'm inconsiderate. So you've now held me hostage
That's so good.
with your GoFundMe request.
Man, that's literally everybody on social media.
Bro, that's the sympathetic beggar. You know what I mean?
Man.
You holding people
Yeah.
hostage every day.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good, B. Nah, yeah. Because even just really like the last, I would say like last 15 of your posts, like I've just seen, and obviously, you've been doing this for so long. So me just now being one of the newer people to see your content over this past year, recently I'm seeing the engagement rise because I'm like, yo, dude, he's just having a conversation.
That's
All of
motivating.
these are all of these conversational posts are going up because he's just having a conversation. He didn't tell them to do anything. Everybody's like, great perspective. I never heard it that way. And I'm like, yo, he's not even telling you to change your perspective, but because he's having a conversation, you're changing your perspective. I'm like, that's so good. That's so good. And now I know what I need to change. Like today, I'm definitely gonna make sure I do that because I was always trying to make sure they got the message, and it's like just have a conversation and they're gonna get the message. And if they get it, they get it. If they don't, they don't. I was so fixated on them getting it that nobody was getting it. You know what I'm saying? Like
Exactly.
that's what I was doing. Like I was like, you need to, and they're like, I'm not listening. Like I'm wondering why people aren't engaging. It's like you're telling me what I need to do, and every time you tell somebody to do something, they do the opposite of it anyway.
Bro, nobody want to be told what to do.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be led, but nobody wants to be told what to do.
Mm.
It's two totally different things. So we have to use our content and our marketing to lead people, but not to tell them what to do. You just help them think different through your content.
That's so good. Lead people and don't tell people. That's really good, B.
It's just
Yeah.
like with a child. I know you have none at this moment, but if you got a child and they keep trying to stick something in a socket and you just keep saying no, 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 what they gonna do? They're gonna keep trying to stick it in the socket. Why? Because that energy, either energy is neither created or destroyed. It's got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
So instead of telling them don't do that, you say, "Give me that. Why don't you play with this instead?" Okay, they're gonna play with the next thing that's safer for them. Why? Because one, they didn't identify the socket as being unsafe. They just trying to put it just look like a cool thing to do. I want to see if I can fit this thing in this hole over here, right? So what I'm saying is even going down to an infant adolescent level when they don't even have a conscious awareness of this, they don't even want to be told what to do. But they want to be but they would like a suggestion of something else they can do. So in your content, you're not telling people what to do, but you're suggesting to them that they can do things differently.
That's good. That's good. I could listen, bro.
Listen, if you a coach, consultant, freelancer, and you getting tired of people not buying your thing, it's not their fault. You got to get better at conveying what's their payoff. All because you invested all that time creating them courses and the modules and all the hours and the certificates and the degrees you went and got. You think that's the most important part because that's where you invested your time. Unfortunately, don't nobody care. The thing they care about is when they invest their time, what their payoff is, not how much time you invested into the thing that you're doing. So don't get mad at them because they're not buying. You just need to get better at conveying to them why they should be buying. I'm not telling them what to do, but if they want to, if they are somebody who's been selling the pieces and not the payoff, and they ain't making money, and they hear that message, then they know I was talking directly to them. And it's probably in their best interest to stop doing it that way. Which, by the way, a lady commented on the post yesterday. She was like, "Oh my God, this is what I've been doing wrong. I need to start selling the payoff. I do not do a good enough job at." I just, right, based on best practices. I got a couple of these things back here I ain't buying. You know what I'm saying? I'm just telling you, you keep doing it that way, you probably not gonna make no money.
It's good. Just good. Yeah, B, you just put on a master class for me today. Today was a content master class. Content master class. That was good, bro. I needed that.
Yeah.
Because
So in
that's
saying that, right, and I wasn't
yeah.
avoiding your initial question,
No, for sure. Yeah. I
like
needed
what, like until we talk about this, I mean, the marketing team, quote unquote, then just continues to have a knee-jerk response to not having clear direction. So I
that.
wanted you to have clear direction so you can give them clear direction. And then that way everybody knows what they should be doing. Because if you unclear about that part, then what y'all doing would change from day to day or week to week at minimum, right? Now, going back to your thoughts about feeling erratic, I think it's given everything we talked about, it's probably good to go back and just process that a little bit more. Because
Yeah.
I think it's heavy handed by staying in a theme for a whole month, personally.
Okay.
Right. But I do believe that, I mean, I give you all ours right now. So Mondays for us is something motivational. Okay. I don't call it Motivational Monday. That'd be the other thing. When you just stop earmarking your content, you know what I'm saying? Hey, y'all, I'm back today. It's Motivation Monday. Just talk about whatever. Just motivate them. The
Yeah.
problem is that we always trying to describe what we're talking about instead of just talking about it and let it be what it is. I should be
Yeah.
able to motivate you without telling you I'm motivating you. You understand what I'm saying? I should
Yeah.
be able to give you a finance tip on Friday without saying, it's Finance Friday, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah.
should be able to give you wisdom on Wednesday instead of saying, here's another wisdom Wednesday. It's like, no, I should give you wisdom. It's just like internally, that's our rudder. Monday motivation. Tuesday we do release podcast long form. So we clip up the short to support the long. Wednesday we do wisdom and Wednesday. Thursday we do the promo. So we drop a clip to promote the Thursday Q&A. Friday we recently switched to finance, and then Saturday we do lifestyle, right? Because I kept noticing, like trying to get people game on Saturday, it just wasn't converting. Because people they want to be entertained every day. They certainly want to be entertained on the weekend. So we started doing lifestyle. I got a ton of lifestyle stuff. I just don't be posting, and so we do that on Saturday. So if you go back and start watching my posts, without me ever saying Motivational Monday, without me ever saying, you just gonna see we've been following that flow.
It's good. That's good. I'm
And
definitely
the
going to take
reason
that.
I say that it's not erratic is because people are multifaceted. So you need to
Yeah.
stimulate them on different levels. Secondly, if your content performing well, your followers ain't seeing it anyway. It's the non-followers are seeing it. So they
Yeah.
wouldn't know that you was in this series for a whole month.
For sure.
You see what I'm saying? They only getting
Sure.
fed with whatever's feeding them that particular day.
For sure. That's good. Yeah. Definitely misdiagnosed that then. For sure. That's good. Because I just wanted to make sure I wasn't, all over the place. But I definitely knew I was staying in that personal development lane. I was like, I just thought since because not everything was emotional, that it was sounding erratic to me, right? But you definitely right though. Like I was definitely staying in that lane. Um, and then I'll go the same thing as you. I obviously tweak my own week, day to day, but I definitely will start doing those themes to have a more consistent flow so I could tell them that, and then they could also help me come up with, videos and ideas for that. So that's great.
For
That's
sure.
great. Yeah, I appreciate you, B.
Yeah.
Yeah, you answered all my questions, so I appreciate you.
Okay. We got any questions in the chat? I got a 3 o'clock I gotta hop on. So
Yeah, nah, we good in the chat. Yeah, we good all in the chat
speak
right now.
now or forever hold your peace. If you got a question, put it in the chat. If you're watching the replay, obviously you can put them in there. We'll double back next week. But yeah, bro, it's marketing starts with messaging for everybody. Marketing starts with messaging, and just to get on there to be like, and I get it. Some people like, man, I just need to just start, 100%. But in order to finish, you got to know where you're going. So starting is one thing, right? But if it's worth doing, it's worth doing right. So we might as well dial in who we talking to and start talking to them. Even if we ain't got an offer yet, we can at least start talking to them about what we think our offer is going to be,
Mm,
right?
yeah,
And understand that our goal with our messaging is to help people have a transformation in their life. And it's just by having conversations that's relevant. And
yes,
on that
sir.
note, let us know if this was helpful. Any questions, comments y'all want us to cover next week? Don't be shy. We'll make sure that we get those and cover them next week as well. And outside of that, man, this thing flew by. We probably could have went 2 hours today if I didn't have this 3 o'clock. Cause yeah, it's just so much to catch up on. But
Yeah, for sure. Lydia said, just wanted to say thank you for the info.
of course,
Yes, I want to say thank you for that. But
of course,
yeah, man, this
of
was
course.
great. Needed that. This is like literally real quick before you get off. One thing that I love that you do, and even though it's coaching, but for me, I say it in a harsher way, which I'm learning how to obviously digress from that. But you do a great job of taking out the trash without saying you taking out the trash. I love it. Like you literally like we're just like, hey, like this is. I'm glad you thought this. Let's throw that out and let's implement this instead. I just love the way that you convey your words because, like you said, even though you're suggesting that to, like you're telling me, right? Like you're still saying it in a suggestive way, like because I can still be like, oh, yeah, I'm gonna do it this way. And you're like, all right, like do it. But you do a great job of just taking out the trash. And me wanting to be great, I'm gonna listen. So now I'm gonna follow that, day to day
And
theme.
trust me. And trust me, I know what that looks like too, because I got clients right now that I've been telling the same thing, and they just keep doing it their way. So I know that what I say don't mean you're gonna go do it. You know what I mean? Which
Yeah,
is why I say things merely as a suggestion, because people. They gonna do what
yeah.
make them feel most comfortable, but that ain't always the thing that's most productive.
100%. So yeah, I just appreciate that because like I just love how you literally just threw that out. Like, yo, don't say any theme for a month. Do these day-to-day themes so you can keep being consistent and you know you're going every day. So yeah, I'm definitely going to literally go back to the team after this and be like, hey, we going this route. Y'all need to come up with these, figure out what days we want to do what for each day, and then we're gonna go about it that way. So yeah,
For sure.
I appreciate that, B.
Beautiful, bro. Beautiful. All
Yes,
right.
sir.
Until next week, y'all. Stay blessed.